Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wacky world of ours, and welcome to another exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin, where we've just figured out that Bob indeed went to school in Illinois, where he apparently went to school. We have learned a thing. Praise be it the thing. On a scale of 1 to 10, Bob, how would you rate school in Illinois?
Why are you like this?
Because
we're
this is
queers.
because we're horrible, horrible people. And I am the master of your bedtime. As a matter of fact, I will give someone XP if they come up with a GM screen for me that just contains the phrase, I am the master of Bob's bedtime.
Let me PM Katie.
Do it. This evening we find ourselves outside the Moonrise Theatre, which is located just outside of central Dublin City in a place called Swords. Well, when I say outside Dublin City, it is, as a matter of fact, rather near to the airport. However, it appears to be a rather well-lit and well-maintained little theatre, whereon there are a number of signs that dictate the shows that are going to be put on this evening. However, there is no show that has been scheduled for today, as the proprietor of this establishment, a Bata by the name of Nightshade, has invited around a couple of friends for a down-home country meal, as they say. So it is that we watch as they gather outside the theater doors, ready to enter. Those of you who are bringing very complicated things, let me know. Or rather, go first so we know what you're doing.
All right. There's allowed various levels of clanging, of grumbling, and of barking, and of, probably Collins and trying to navigate and pivot through things as Callie is carrying various painted deers, antelopes. One of them is definitely a warthog. She's carrying various bags of stuff that she's hauled over her back all the while. Fenrir is clinging onto things as they're walking, and she'll kind of look over at him, going, this is everything."
So Collins, out of the back seat of the car they arrived in, is unbuckling a large hot cold bag, at which he slings rather delicately over his shoulder, and then he grabs another case that has a bunch of rattles. It's a hard case, and then he grabs a large pot with pot holders and hand grips, and he will sling his cane through some shopping bags and then slide that over under one arm, and he is hobo sacking bottles of juice into the inside. And he will get to the door and he'll use his cane to knock.
Next up, we will have Lottie.
Lottie has decided to bring 2 items. The apple crumble is decidedly less complicated than the lemon tarts, and so the apple crumble is in a kind of buoyant container where she can kind of cradle it in the curve of her arm upwards, and she'll have the lemon tarts layered out in a plate and held up in a kind of canary cage style crate on the other arm, and she's meandering about. "Oh, the door! My arms are tired. Oh, the door, please."
Next, we will have Kevin.
Out of all the people here, Kevin seems to know, or at least understand, the lead. Not much about what's going on. Okay, looks a little lost. Kind of a vacant stare. This guy's fish and chips, though.
You were invited to a meal, and you bring your own meal.
He can power through it before the actual meal starts.
Stink eye.
All right. Stink eye, immediate stink eye. And last but not least, we have Jinx.
Jinx is coming to the designated place. She has 2 suitcases, and She looks relatively happy and in good spirits.
Holy crap, Jinx is happy the world is ending. Leave while you can.
Probably because food. Food makes everyone happy.
Alright. Who said they were knocking at the door? Because someone did.
I did.
Alright.
With the tip of his cane, he will knock at the door.
The door will be swung open a few moments later. And you will see facing you. One moment. I believe that's the right one. Nope, that is most assuredly not the right one. This might be it. Fuck me, Evan, you're bad at life. Ah, that explains it. Sorry, I was trying to find a specific picture. There she is. You'll see this one facing you.
Collins will smile. Big ol' toothy grin. He'll bow his head. I've come for supper, as he says, comically holding all of the things.
Oh, it's so nice to meet you. Please come in.
Oh, trust me, pleasure's mine. You can call me Collins. What's your name, sweetie?
My name's Elena. It's nice to meet you, Collins.
Oh, I assure you, Miss Elena, pleasure's mine. Now,
You
I
will
go?
notice immediately that her eyes are the shade that they're shown, so there's something very unnatural about them.
Okay.
She will look out the door at the others and she'll say, "Please come in." It's nice to see you all. Weird question. What is everyone's current emotional state?
Excited.
Collins is pleased.
Chipper.
What?
I mean, okay. What is not an emotional state, Bob? God damn it.
It is. It's a
Robbie is
very
chipper.
deep emotional state
Of
of
what?
non-committal confusion. You're ready to be confused about anything.
I'm so sorry. She looks at Bob, and you can see she's genuinely distressed. Have I done something wrong?
Whoa. Calm down. Everything's fine. Have some fish.
I'm fine. Thank you. And thank you. For the record, I
tried.
Does anyone have a mind shield with 10 successes or more in it?
Absolutely not.
There we
I'm
go.
not to bring a mind shield to a dinner. That's just rude.
No, I don't know what I was walking into, so I was over prepared. Yes.
Well, no, this is, you can actually feel her presence. You assume it's her. When she looks at you, when those eyes meet yours, it's like she's doing a vague,
Haram.
how to phrase this, like something is running its fingers through your hair, but the wrong way round, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
Please come this way. I'll just close the door. She closes the door. You'll notice that she's wearing very heavy-duty gloves on her hands. Like, really heavy-duty gloves. Like, even in the oppressive heat that Ireland has been experiencing recently, there's 2 or 3 layers of leather there.
Oh boy.
Someone's a powerful empath, it seems.
Good to
Oh,
know.
that's just what Lottie will think. Murmur a little
And
quietly to Collins.
Collins will continue to carry the excess amount of things he has brought.
Simcoe.
Would you like me to give you a hand, Mr. Collins?
What? No, I have come here to bring gifts and joy and food. It would be rude for me to impose.
Yes, indeed, Kevin. You power through the rest of the fish.
Yeah, the rest of you are coming in all politely. And Kevin, it's only now dawning on Kevin in like the overworked processes of his mind that this is actually a dinner party. That it would be rude to so much as walk into here with this current meal. So behind you, you just hear, and then the crinkling of the paper, and he just sticks it in his pocket. There.
Make sure
Crisis
he wipes his
averted.
mouth for the evidence.
Important question. Is Kevin angry or upset?
Not right now.
Okay, just the way you
There'll be
phrase
time
that.
for that later.
Vaguely angry and or upset.
Oh no, he is determined.
Please come this way. I'll introduce you to the others.
Of course, thank you.
And Collins will follow on. He will wink and smile at Callie.
About 20 seconds later, she walks up a set of stairs into what's clearly the main auditorium room of the theater. So where the seats are located and where the stage is. As she opens the door into the auditorium proper, there is a flash of movement as two small shapes barrel their way out of the room proper and smash into Lottie at high velocities. These are two tiny people who have glomped her.
Did our eyes deceive me? Is that, my darling dears, Key and Kay? Or even attacked the little gremlins?
Oh, it's so nice to see you again, Miss Lottie. It's been ever so long.
Hi, little ones. How are you? It's been so long. I'm so glad you guys are doing this. I have treats, many treats, all the treats.
I'm so pleased to see you again. For the record, they actually look older. It's kind of like, as in, Lottie sees them, they look older than a couple of months, as in it looks like they've aged about a year or two since last you saw them.
Am I getting sure? Are you guys getting taller? Are you eating better? You're shooting up like trees, babe. Just kind of give them a kind of wide-eyed hug with one of the arms. It's not that's like holding it but balancing the lemon tarts.
Now, you shouldn't spoil your meal. Bonjour, mon ami. Pleasure to see you all.
Hello, Mr. Nightingale. And she'll kind
Nightshade.
of wave with the lemon tart's hand.
His name is Nightshade. Nightingale is someone else.
Right shade, sorry.
No worries. He will smile. He will very deftly take one of the plates from Lottie before he will take her hand in his and kiss it very softly just on the knuckle above her left ring finger. It is a pleasure to see you again, Miss Lottie.
It's a pleasure to be invited. Thank you. I know some of kind of opening the way for Collins and them to say hi.
Once again, welcome to our humble home. Monsieur Collins, it is good to see you again.
He'll smile. Oh, it's so great to be here. So glad you hosting a Sunday dinner. This makes me so happy. So, speaking of which, where's the table? Because my shoulder's starting to hurt and I got a show to put on.
One moment.
Sure. For those who have been standing next to Collins, they can smell all sorts of various spices and deliciousness that somehow transport your mind to either a farmer's market or certain scenes from Princess and the Frog. Lots of spice, lots of meat, beans, seafood, and quite a bit of Tabasco.
Collins, if you'd like to go and set down your burden.
Oh, just point me to the feasting table. No need to be all fancy like that.
As you wish. It's just up on the stage. Please set down your wonderful offerings, and I'll go and check and see if the little ones are washed up and ready to eat.
Oh, sure thing.
Is there any place I can go set up? I have something I want to do for the kitties. She'll smile.
Very kind of you, Mademoiselle Jinx. Yes, if you want to go up to the second floor onto the balcony, that's probably the best place to set anything up.
All right.
However, please, eat with us first, and then we can talk about other things later. Might be better, no?
Yeah.
So Collins goes over to the feasting table, and he sets down a trivet that he puts the big old pot of, short grain white rice on, and then he sets down another trivet and he puts a big, maybe could fit one of a young child in pot of gumbo onto this trivet. I mean, this is a child-sized pot, and then he sets another trivet down. To it, he sets another pot of red beans and rice, and then he will go to the corner of the stage and kind of set up a whole bunch of partially filled bottles with a whole bunch of colored liquids inside of them, and red solo cups.
One, two, there we go. For some reason, my sound kind of died. You will, at this point, start to see the rest of the children start to filter out onto the stage. Many of them are just look entirely normal. They range in age from about Key and Kay are probably the youngest. They are the twins. They look to be about 9, 10 years old. So they range in everywhere in age from 10 to, their mid to late 20s. Some of them are very obviously altered. You see one of them has a face that looks to be like a patchwork Frankensteinian creature in terms of it has been stitched together. And there's another that has, beg your pardon?
No, 1 second, sorry.
Okay. There's another one who has very reptilian eyes in the sense that they have a slit for an iris, and the remainder of the eye and the remainder of the white area of the eye is in fact yellow. So there are some of them that are very obviously physically deformed. However, they all seem to be in relatively They all seem to be relatively in good spirits. Many of them are bearing out food dishes, including a very comical sight of two rather small individuals. They're small, you assume, because they have dwarfism, not because they are actually young, but they are bearing out, between the two of them, a large platter on which there is a hog roast. Hog roast.
Collins will definitely go over and offer to help to move those around as they need be.
Thank you, sir. It is a great burden on the back, as they say. One of the two will look up at you and say,
"Oh, I understand. Sometimes sometimes Big Pig gets heavy, and well, it's hard for anybody to lift, let alone a superhero." And he will smile and wink at the kid.
Lottie, you will feel a tap on your shoulder. Tap.
Turns. Hello.
Well, you were wondering where the clown was.
Yes! Where's my friend?
Hello, Miss Lottie. It's nice to see you again. Smiley missed you.
Hi, Smiley. She says, peering up at the giant fucking clown. How you doing?
For the record, the clown, for those of you who see him, because I've never found a picture of him that I actually like, so I may actually commission one at some point. He looks to weigh probably about 600 to 650 pounds, but he's also nearly 7 foot tall. He is incredibly, if you look at him, there's a lot of fat there, yes, but there's also an incredible amount of muscle. He has a smile on his face, and he just seems to be relatively cheerful. For those of you who can sense his aura or his resonance. He has a very childlike resonance. He feels like a child, essentially. But he will look down at Lassie and he will say, "It is very good to see you again. Why have you been away for so long?"
A lot of stuff happened. I'll try to visit more often. I've been kind of pulled a ways away in all kinds of ways. Like being stuck in a jungle gym. But I'll try to visit more. I didn't even realize Key and K were growing so fast.
You'll see Nightshade get vaguely sad, like as in his expression will drop when you say that, but he won't say anything.
Does she notice it?
People can make me a perception empathy roll on him if you'd like to notice it.
All right. So thankful Lottie is the character that actually has empathy.
It's
a mixture between that Anthony and the Cirque du Freak. So yeah.
Yeah, that's really what popped in my head. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Lottie's got 3 successes.
His emotional state plummeted from happy to incredibly sad when you said that.
She'll frown and make a note to visit upon that.
Please, everyone, sit down. Enjoy. It's been so long since we've had guests. Please.
And Collins is just gonna start scooping rice and serving gumbo to people. And it's very natural, like just bowl, rice gumbo, here's your plate. Rice gumbo, here's your plate.
You will notice that they will all take the food very happily, but none of them will eat.
And anybody who looks thin, emaciated, or gaunt gets a double scoop because we got to look out for the thin. They got growing to do.
It's so southern, it hurts.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Everyone, bow your heads. We thank you, Father above us, for the gifts and the benefices you have bestowed upon us. And in the light of your servants and our Lord, may we forever serve in a beneficial manner to you, you who is above us. Almighty Father, this we pray. All the children will kind of lower their heads and speak, clearly pray in their own way until they're done. When Nightshade finishes, they will all nod before they will start to eat.
Collins takes, for those who have not seen Collins actually eat an actual meal, he takes the pre-meal prayer very seriously. Like, this is a thing. We give our thanks.
Lottie will do the polite thing and bow her head and kind of think to Eris for a bit. Be like, "Sup, how you doing? Hope shit's going good. I eat these apples for you."
Jinx does the very traditional Catholic prayer.
So, who has a low BMI, just out of curiosity? Of the
several of the children are very, very good. You're not sure if they don't look like they're malnourished, but they're very, very thin.
Yeah, nope. They all get double scoops. And what about the PCs? Anybody look real thin or?
Nightshade is pretty thin as a person, but he's a healthy kind of thin.
He gets double scoop.
Jinx is thin. She doesn't eat like that. She lives off of what do gamers call it? The ramen diet.
Oh, Jinx gets a triple scoop. it's a healthy dose of rice. I'm like, nope. There we go.
My ass is going to expand. What are you doing?
I'm making sure you are happy and you are healthy. You are well fed and your spirits are in good shape.
But I'm gonna have to work
That's
extra
what squats are
hard.
for, woman.
You see, she can't say no because she's looking, she's thankful, but she's like internally crying because I have to work this off now. Like,
This is good for the soul,
Not
it's good
even-
for the heart, good for the body.
she looks distressed. Like, oh fuck. Like,
But where
Because
is
where
the
does
soup
she put it?
for the mighty Fenrir?
The mighty Fenrir is going to get a fantastic little doggy bowl, and it is going to be the finest red beans and bacon and pork belly he has ever had.
The
Yes,
mighty
he's never-
Fenrir accepts your tribute, for he is the mighty
Just-
Fenrir.
Down. And you keep this up, and eventually you're going to have to put on that suit so you can look nice and proper like we talked about.
There's
The
a
mighty
suit.
Fenrir fears the concept of this suit.
Lottie's just gonna look directly at Collins and Callie, just like edging her eyes between the two. Suit.
Kylie's just politely eating, not saying anything.
Her food. Yes.
Oh, that's very nice, Mr. Grant. I didn't know you had a cat.
Shun comes and goes.
Oh, it's more case that he has a human.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Where is he? I'll make him a bowl.
As soon as food is finished. Side note, I really need premium minicam. It's on my to-do list.
Cat appears.
A rather cat-shaped weight on Kevin's head. Did somebody say food?
Cat gets a little paper plate of red beans. You eat rice?
Sir, I am Shi Shong Wan She Chai Fun Shin of the Third Dynasty. You're asking me, do I eat rice?
So the answer to that is yes, and a double portion. Scoop, scoop. And just paper plates over.
On a side note, he used the full name. That's a thing.
Yeah.
The
Well, here you go.
collect
Enjoy.
your tribute is acceptable, human.
At least he appreciates it.
I expect no less from a cat. Especially an ancient immortal god cat.
He looks down at Kevin as he is currently perched on Kevin's shoulder, and he says, "It took you 3 months to understand me like that. 3 months."
It was a rough 3 months.
Yes. Acceptable.
Collins makes himself a bowl and proceeds to chow down.
By the way, you will see that because Nightshade is still he looks like he's troubled, and you'll kind of see the female clown, or Elena, kind of stroke his hand with her gloved hand, because she can't. You get the distinct impression Nightshade has told you many of these children can't help what they do. This is why they can't exist in the real world, because they would be a danger to themselves or others.
Collins will look over.
Does Colin speak French?
It's pigeon at best.
So that's a no.
That's no. It's a word here, a word there, a little bit of Creole. So some, maybe, kind of, sort of, not.
That's fair. It's sometimes hard. People, it's nice that we can be. She clearly doesn't know how to phrase it. It's nice that we can be people with others.
Well, you seem nice enough and polite enough and kind enough, so use good people. All you's good people. And might I say, you still look a little hungry. Here, have some red beans.
Thank you.
And he smiles. You thirsty? You like something to drink?
No, I'm fine. Thanks.
No. I got grapefruit juice, I got apple juice, I got cranberry juice, I got watermelon juice, I got some other juices, but I got apple and pear and peach, and I got some nectars, and nothing I can do. Make you something nice to go with that meal.
She'll stop, at which point another individual will speak. He is I guess he's probably the oldest. He looks he looks around the table and he puts his hand on her shoulder and he kind of nudges her with his nose in a way almost very similar to how a dog would nudge someone. And she will eventually kind of be able to assemble her words, and she will say, "We're used to dealing with people out there," and she kind of gestures down at the seats. It's nice that we can feel like normal people for an afternoon. And there's kind of a general murmur of agreement around the table.
And he'll look at where she motioned and go, "Really? Well then, you've done so many good things, so many kind things, and put on wonderful things for everybody. You are people. You are still people first and foremost." And he will kind of like set his food down to the side and a little too close to Fenris for possibly what could be his own personal safety.
Hey, Torna, you want maybe that Dex Athletics roll to catch the mighty Fenris?
Yep.
Have you ever seen what happens when you set food down in front of a very hyperactive dog? Well, that's about to happen.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm fully accepting that I'm gonna lose.
I missed.
Dinner's gone.
I missed.
Dinner's gone.
I'm going to say this is difficulty 6, requiring a threshold of 2 successes.
I missed. Nope. Straight miss. Nope.
Oh dear. You kind of see Callie flail. There was a failure, at which point, Mighty Fenrir! Because the Mighty Fenrir always announces actions with, "I am the Mighty Fenrir," as he barrels into the plate.
And Collins pays no mind.
Jenks will kind of rub his head and say, "Good Fenris." No.
Callie will say, hey, what we agreed on? You be nice. We won't get those fine meats, I promised.
Fine meat was promised.
Meats.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He got a traditional Southern red beans and red beans with pork belly, so I don't know where Fenris stands on this. This is a 3-generation-old recipe that he has been following to a T.
You finish eating. You will pad back to Callie. You will sit again. the Fenris has made his decision.
And I'm just gonna do like a simple, like essentially like a tequila sunrise-ish like drink for the children, but with no booze. But I would like to roll my charisma and art to put on a show for those who put on a show. If that is all right with you.
That's entirely fine. Roll your thing. I believe
All right.
it's dexterity, in this case,
Well,
mixology.
I was gonna do charisma and art. I'm not gonna. It's not so much about the layered and appearance of the drink. It's putting on a show for everybody who puts on the show.
Okay, roll that then.
So the dice gods hate me. 2 successes to put on a decent. I mean, it's a decent flare tending. Like he bops the bottle off of an elbow and he rolls it around his chest. He pours drinks.
You'll see that they're all very amused.
Jinx will clap.
And he will then go ahead and give everybody their sweet little peach, apple, pear kind of mixed drink. Their little mocktail, and deliver it all with a little flair and pomp and circumstance.
Nightshade kind of leans forward in his chair and he says, "Nah, Monsieur Collins, who's been so polite and so good to him." There's kind of a very kind of interesting unison of for the record, as you look around, you'll see the fact that there are 16 children in all, if you were counting them. All of them will say thank you to Collins in perfect unison.
Nothing to thank me over. This is just something I can do for you. You all who have put on a show for so many and who take care and provide such fine. And he points to the pig he helped the young ones, or the small ones, put on the table. You all do so many kind things for so many people, and it hurts my soul that you don't get enough kindness done to you and for you. And I know Mr. Nightshade, he does everything in his power, like sideways up. I'm listening. Like just glances and then looks back at everybody. But no, Sunday dinners are the best. They are. You break bread with friends. You break bread with those you want to call family. You share a drink. You have a meal. Community is important, and you're part of ours, much as we're part of yours. Collins will smile, sit down, and then realize his plate has been devoured. And he just kind of looks down.
What was your emotional state during that little speech that you gave?
His emotional state went kind of all over the place. He was sad for a moment because he realized, because these children and Nightshade, they have an undue burden on them. They're locked away from society, but he is then elated and very compassionate because he can share very quintessential, very human things with everybody, with the children, and with Nightshade and the other Magi present, and that he is still he looks out for those around them, that he cares for them because they need to be cared for, and not in a pedantic or looking down way, but these are people who need help, and he is willing to help them, if that makes sense.
Max, do you want to join us at this point?
No, I'm too tired to sing. I'm just here to listen.
That's fair.
Lurk, lurk, lurk.
At this point, because Elena stands up and she walks over to Collins, and you can see she's like mentally debating.
Oh, and then Collins is very, very depressed and sad that he realizes the mighty Fenris ate all of his food. It's like, oh,
Lottie will kind of push
Oh,
over
my
for
food.
serving. Half left.
I'm gonna have to get more, but
Lottie will share.
Elena reaches out, and you can tell that there's kind of a mixture of emotions playing across her face. But she is going to attempt to hug Collins.
Collins is just gonna big ol' hug her back.
Okay.
Just big ol' happy, full of life, joy to verve. You need a hug, I need a hug, and squeeze and lift.
Okay. Can I get you to please make me a willpower check?
Uh-oh. Alrighty. Standard?
Standard diff.
Got 5 successes.
Okay. What is Collins's happiest memory? The memory that he cherishes closest to his heart.
I'm thinking. Give me a second. Probably an event very similar, where it is the breaking of bread, the sharing of food with his congregation back home as a child, where it was a potluck. Everybody brought something, from a homemade bread to rice to beans to gumbo to dessert. Everybody, and it was all a hodgepodge of food. None of it really made sense as a meal. Like, it wasn't coordinated. Everybody just brought the thing they loved. And they wanted to share that loved food item with everyone around them. Everybody was coming. It was a St. John's Day meal, midsummer, and it was just so many tasty and strange foods, and none of it made sense. There was a lot of traditional Southern and Cajun foods, but then you had somebody bring in, a weird carrot raisin salad or an ambrosia, just things you would look at and go, why the fuck would you eat these together? But everybody did so, and everybody did it happily.
You will re-experience that memory in a flash heartbeat as you hug her, and you will be left with the same emotional state that you had in the moments that you put her down. It will fade after a few seconds, but you essentially got to re-experience a very happy memory and a very happy feeling when you came into contact with her.
Ooh.
It was a very nice day for you.
And he'll smile. It was a nice day, and it left a lasting impression. And now, and he'll look over. Please help yourself to some red beans. You look frail. They're full of protein and good for the heart, good for the soul. There's plenty of pork in there too, because if pig isn't proof that the gods love us, I don't know what is.
Jinx still laugh.
Amen.
Amen. Pork is life. Pork is love.
Shoves more gumbo into her mouth.
And only Elena can really see it. There is one singular tear.
You guys will eat, and the meal will realistically last an hour and a half to 2 hours. You know, after they have the hot food, they will then have dessert, etc. But it is a very happy time, and you come to talk to several of the children. There's Elena, obviously. There's Smiley. The one who he doesn't talk exactly. He's, as I said, he looks to be the oldest of them, because it's very hard to judge Smiley's age. But he looks to be the eldest of them by far physically. He doesn't speak. He has a very dominating physical presence. I believe Lottie met him last time. You met Gerhard last time. Do you remember what his particular issue was, or do you not?
I don't remember off the top
That's
of my
cool.
head.
It was a very long time ago. You were told this in character, so you will remember it in character. Gerhard was designed as part of a super soldier project. He's incredibly able and adept at doing things. However, he will follow any order he is given by anyone. That was his flaw.
Yes, okay, then I remember that.
So
Perfect soldier, but worked a little too well.
yes, so you have to be very careful what you say to him. Because, for example, if you told him to even jokingly go throw yourself off a building, but he doesn't speak.
Boy.
But yeah, he doesn't speak, but he's communicative in other ways. He's got very, very expressive eyes. There's Key and Kay, who appear to quite happily have their own conversation without opening their mouth. Like, you'll actually see one of them will spontaneously laugh, and then the other will spontaneously laugh. So you can assume that they're having their own little private conversation, unless you're actually
moved up
directly
from
talking.
Twinspeak.
Beg your pardon?
They've moved up from Twinspeak.
Basically, yes. I'm trying to think, were there any other ones that I really named or done anything with? No, those are all the ones that really were real presences. So when the dinner is finished, but before you guys do anything else, the children will leave in order to basically do the washing up, etc. Because that is apparently their standard practice. They insist on taking Collins's washing up to wash up for him. They will not take no for an answer.
Collins will fight with gusto, and then when he realizes that no is the only answer that he is given, he will fight a little bit more out of politeness and then be like, fine.
They want to do their best. They want to help.
I brought the mess. I made the mess. I should clean the mess. But you fed us, and we love you. But I brought the mess. I feed the mess. But you brought this. We are at an impasse. I shall. If it makes you happy.
Offer to help.
If it makes you happy, I will let you do this.
Lottie will kind of mime, showing, just picking up some of the trash. Be like, help in little ways. They can't stop you.
Nightshade will just be sitting in his chair at the table, and he will then stand and bow to all of you collectively, and he will say, "Thank you, mon ami. This means more to them than anything."
It's nice to feel like a kid.
Mademoiselle Jinx, to them it's nice to feel like a person. The technocracy left very deep scars in many of them. I have not seen Elena ever open up to anyone like that, Mr. Collins.
I can understand why, but she has a gift, potent and powerful.
See, or we, other, yes, she does. However, she, as with all of them, was created without a care for what it would do to them, simply to see if it was possible. And they must carry that cross for each day of their lives. It is unfortunate.
They have an undue suffering and burden that was placed upon them. And he looks. And if Elena is watching, Collins feels genuinely and deeply sad. Like, this is like soul penetrating sadness.
I have to ask you a question,
But
mon ami, if you will forgive my impertinence. You'll see him run his tongue over his teeth, and he'll say, I was told that the 9 mystical traditions were sheltering technocratic refugees is a bad word, defectors. I wish to know if that was the case.
Lottie will look to the other two who are heads of theirs. Eyebrow raise.
It's a touchy subject.
Looks over at Jinx.
Oh.
And very Scooby-Dooey goes.
Yeah, Callie would have the most confused look, like, what? You know what I mean? Type of stare, like, huh?
Blink,
Yeah.
blink.
Mhm.
I only know of the one that we were, I guess, going to try to help, but she died suddenly without cause. So after that, I know nothing.
Looks at Lottie again. Scooby-Doo. It's either a confused Scooby-Doo or the lead singer of the Darkness going with the weird head bob.
She'll like wave her hand and be like, she's dead. That's really the gist of it.
And the other ones, it was more of a thing that they were willing to give their lives to make sure that myself and others lived. But when we escaped the Leviathan the first time, they didn't make it.
Shrugs. Unaffected. To Lottie, a dead technocrat is the best technocrat.
Looks over at Collins. Will look over at Nightshade. They answered better than I could.
Monsieur
Kind of like
Gravedigger has said that there are a number of them. I do not know if he is the
Wait, who
veracity of
said?
his statement.
Who
Monsieur
said there were a
Gravedigger.
number of them? Huh. Well, we're kind of dealing with an infernalist issue. But there are devils at every door. So I guess we should also be looking into the cracks. She had like a frustrated look on her face.
Perhaps this is best discussed somewhere else. Callie will just say very lightly. If there is
Yes.
any, we are
Collins just kind of like points to Callie in that she's got it. That's the
Yes,
answer
you're-
we're looking for. And
Yeah,
he's got the
you're
dumb
right,
Scrappy Doo
Callie.
grin.
Sorry.
Sorry, what did Callie actually say?
Perhaps this is best discussed somewhere else, as we're all like, we don't know, there might be a technocrat, we don't know. It's like, maybe we should, not talk about this in front of this guy who's like clearly like, but I was told, she's like, maybe this is not the place to discuss this.
I merely wish to make it clear. Because of the actions of their peers, these children cannot have a normal life. I know that might not be their sin to lay at their feet. But at the same time, when it comes to the judging of the value of said individuals and their words and their actions, I just wish it to be considered what it is that the technocracy as a whole have shown their ability to and their dedication to do.
Callie will nod respectfully. I would rather not give you stories and false information that we obviously don't know or have not heard. As a head of one of the Council of the Traditions, I will find out personally, and the technocrat in my eyes is nothing but a machine that deserves to be put down. Ruthlessly.
Indeed. And Lottie will nod as well. The information we will find, we will share to you, especially considering everything that happened a couple of months ago. We do not at any point want the children to be in danger. Us technocrat as the dead ones. We'll fix it. Or do our best to do so.
One moment, because I have to throw lightning
Okay.
fluid on this fire. He knows her. She'll say, pointing at Kevin.
It's like the Metal Gear Solid, like,
Just, like,
exclamation
looks at
point
this
comes up
kid.
above Callie's head.
Lottie's just
He doesn't look mad at a kid, man.
Her neck.
He looks a little caught off guard. He looks at this kid. Is this second of just straight like, all right, my words are failing me, but we're gonna work around it. His expression is but a sentence, a classic line through literature. Et tu, Brute?
Ah, damn it, that's beautiful.
You'll see she's walking back into the room with Collins' washing up in her hands.
You are a very gifted young woman. I just want you to know that.
Are you being genuine in your statement?
He is. He's kind of impressed, considering he's part of like a tradition that's the seat of the mind. This is some next level shit.
Mm-hmm.
Kai just takes a breath and just tries to weigh up what she says next, and looking around like,
Collins will take the clean pots and pans, and he will smile. He'll nod his head. Thank you, I appreciate that. He will go and put them in his hot cold bag, and then he will just pull out a deck of cards and he'll hand them over to her. And it's a standard no frills, no fuss, no muss deck of cards. It's not a Svengali or a magical deck. Just something to keep your hands busy and keep everybody entertained. I know it's trivial in that, but it'll help pass the time. And then we'll also then hand over the brain farted.
I hope I didn't do anything wrong.
Oh no, not at all. And it's the Hoyle big old book of card games. Help you pass the time.
Oh, you want me to leave?
No, not at all.
no.
No, this is some additional entertainment. This is, and he will open the book and he will kind of thumb through it. There are 65 different games of cards you can play using that single deck. And you put on shows all the time. You do all of these wonderful and marvelous things, but you don't take time for yourself. And he'll open it up and there's like the rules for Rummy.
Mhm.
And just this game can support 4 people at a time with a single deck of cards. I don't want you to leave. I want you to take knowledge with you. I want you to have access to play bridge, to play hearts, to play rummy and gin. Just a little something special. I can't be here all the time to put on a show for you like you put on a show for everyone else. But I can give you the knowledge to help you entertain with something simple. It'll help you grow as a person, to help you think critically, to read cues and knowledge to...
Okay, thank you. I'll just go and get the rest of the washing up. She seems nervous. You're not exactly sure why, but she seems like she wants to be out of this room. Like, she's being polite about it, but she will turn and physically dart from the room as quickly as she can.
And for her knowledge, Collins was being genuine and sincere, and he was just like, no, I'm giving you a gift because I want to give you a gift, and I want to make your life better. And it is a wholly, like, selfless, I want to make your life better to make your life better.
Okay. I sense that there is about to be a slight inquest of Kevin. Continue.
Oh, I was gonna go ahead. Never mind.
Oh no, Callie's just going to say, perhaps this is an issue we can discuss together at a separate time. After all, we're here for the children, not for anything else.
Yeah, this is a bad idea to do this kind of thing around kids, okay? I don't do people so well, but I know that much.
We're here for the children. We can discuss that issue, which will be discussed later.
Mm-hmm.
I have faith in your abilities to... He's going to start... He actually stops mid-sentence and he walks out following Elena. As in, he just leaves you. He just walks away mid-sentence. He stops talking. His head kind of ticks to the side and he walks out of the room.
Mm-hmm.
So Collins is just gonna sit his ass on the corner of the stage, or like the edge of the stage as everybody talks, and idly kind of juggle bottles.
I'm gonna go check some things out. Thanks for dinner.
You get enough? Are you full?
Yeah, I'm good, man.
You sure? All right. I mean, I think there's a Ziploc or 2 left of the red beans if you want it.
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, next time I'm making cake.
Best of luck on that. I was never much of a hand at baking myself.
Oh no, I can't bake, but I can make this one cake. Learned it from Ma, who learned it from Grandma, who learned it from Great Grandma. It's one thing I can bake. Everything else, well, he just kind of like, he looks down. He's a little sad. It all kinds of ends. It ends in fire. Continuing to juggle, and you can tell that that's a legitimate. Every time he tries to bake anything other than this, it actually catches on fire.
Okay, I'll see you all around. And Kevin, walks through the door, closes the door very carefully. And the first few feet walking away from the door out in that hall are pretty calm. And then he bolts.
Why?
I mean, because running's faster.
Yes, but why have you opted to bolt?
But yeah, if you'd like me to explain it here, I totally can.
Mm-hmm.
He just got outed for sheltering a technocrat.
It's okay. The girls will find him later.
The children will start to filter back into the room. You will see Nightshade return a few moments later, with Elena physically gripped to him as close as a human can get to another, and she's shaking.
As
in
they
violent tremors.
As they come back, Collins continues to keep up the juggling routine, and there is a almost disarming kind of like, look at me, don't pay attention to the awkward thing that just walked out the door. We're gonna have a good time now.
It's all right. Shh, they're gone now. Nothing. He kneels down and he takes her hand in his hands in his, and he says, "Nothing's going to come and take you. Don't worry. It will be fine. I promise." Now then, go and look at Mr. Collins. Yes, you'll be fine. It's fine.
Collins is nervous. He puts on a bad show. Only one success.
If anything, the kids are more amused as you occasionally comedically drop things, etc.
Oh yeah, no.
Clowning and such. So
It's once he figures out that they like his bad performances, he's gonna like juggle, roll something like from hand to hand, pop it off of an elbow, and then it's just gonna drop and bounce. And he will very comedically and very exaggeratingly go, "Oh no!" and put his hands to his face and then go back to it. He's gonna do everything he can to make these kids laugh and smile.
because I know a number of you had, I know that Callie has, and I know that Anthony has stuff prepared for entertaining them. We're gonna let Callie go first, and then Anthony, you can take over. So,
Okay.
Callie, what you got? Show me what
So-
you got.
Callie will first dig out several trays of paint, and if any of the kids want to, they will have their face painted, various things.
Many of
And
them
then-
will opt to.
Yeah, oh yeah, she'll thoroughly do it. And then using Lottie, Collins, and if Jinx wants to, she can certainly join in. She will do a whole, with the Mighty Fenrir, of course, being the star of the show, a whole musical reenactment of The Lion King,
Yes.
complete with props and everything.
Can't wait to kill Odin.
Pretty much, yeah, pretty much. Because she'll have even the kids, if they want to join in as well, will totally be allowed to join in too as well. She'll totally try and make room, and it's all very comedic and out of place, and just kind of more for their entertainment than anything else.
Wants to help.
Oh yeah, no, everyone's allowed pitching, even the kids themselves. It's all just
They
more
will
comedic.
very much enjoy that, mostly because many of them are quite young and they're still at the point where they like things that are silly because it's silliness.
Because growing up with losers.
I'm trying to think how to phrase it. The one, his name is Gerhard. He will walk up to Callie when it's over, because you'll see him look at the smiling children and the laughing children, and he puts his hands on Callie's shoulders. He's much taller than you are. I assume Callie's what, about 5'7" or 8?
5'9", about 5'9".
Okay. Yeah, he's reaching 7 feet tall.
Oh Jesus!
So yeah, he will then lean down and he'll press his forehead into your forehead.
She doesn't stop him. She lets him do it. You know, if this is his thing, this is his thing.
And he resonates a kind of a feeling of thankfulness, is how I'll phrase it. He's not verbal, so he doesn't speak, but this is what you get from him.
She'll do her best to smile as well, even though her smile looks kind of grimacy, but she tries to come across as genuine as she can.
Okay. And Jinx, you're up next.
Jinx will sort of like ask everybody to go to like the second floor. She will take out 2 metal suitcases and she'll begin setting up a laser light show full on with music. It goes from actually, so you know, there was actually some magic put into this.
Mhm.
So actually, since Jink has a ridiculous amount going towards doing something like this, she kind of cracked the threshold in half and had 36 successes when you gave me the diff.
Oh,
And-
dear God. Okay.
And she also kind of souped it up with a Forces 3 effect. So there are colors in the slideshow that don't exist. And she definitely, it goes through it's very Disney-esque. And
I was going to say, well, welcome to what I will lovingly refer to as Fantasia 2018.
essentially,
Collins applauds.
essentially, there's a lot of there's something for everyone. So it definitely, there's stuff for like the young ones, and the ones that are like older, early 20s. There's a lot of what she will lovingly refer to as the love child of Avatar: The Last Airbender. So some nice martial arts and cool special effects and just things to make everyone smile and laugh.
You will have Key and Kay, who are the 2 young ones, kind of
Mhm.
hanging out of you for the whole show, basically going, "What's that? How'd you do that?"
And like just like that, she'll explain everything.
When it's all said and done, it's actually quite late in the evening
Mhm.
at this point, because you realistically, feasible, you probably sat down to dinner at about 8.
Mhm.
And then, it took them about half an hour, 3/4 of an hour to do all the washing up. So it's about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, when Nightshade will walk you all down to the doors of the theater. And he'll say, "Thank you, all of you, for simply coming and being with them. It means the world to them, I assure you."
I'll be sure to visit more often. I miss the kids.
We have a meal every Sunday where we all gather together. You are all more than welcome to attend.
Noted.
Is there anything else I can do on the off times to help you out?